Yes.
All right, NFL free agency.
Yep.
Why not start quarterbacks?
Okay, let's do that. Yeah.
Fitzy gave us a little something a couple days ago to talk about there.
Right.
Next one, Andy Dalton, bringing up a very good question from Robert Babcock. This is Dalton to the Bears. How do you now rank Trubisky, Foles, Dalton?
Oh, Trubisky, Foles, Dalton. Okay. I think that, honestly, to me, the top two guys there would be Trubisky and Dalton. That's who I'm going to look at. Foles is the lesser to me. All right, I'm going to say that, especially within that offense where I think they value movement a little bit more from the quarterback position. Mm-hmm. Dalton is more consistent and trustworthy. Trubisky has a higher upside and can make some plays with his arm and legs at times where you just go, damn, that was a good throw. Like, whoa, that was a 30-yard, down the sideline, pretty damn good throw. To where I think he's got more overall power in his arm than Andy Dalton right now at this point of his career. But Andy Dalton can hit the bullseye a little bit more than Trubisky. Trubisky, yeah, you can go, hey, there's 2 or 3 great throws, and then all of a sudden you can go, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
Where Andy Dalton's usually always in the area. So, I guess what I'm saying there is if your ass is on the line like they are in Chicago, all right?
Yeah.
Then you go with something that you feel like, hey, I trust it. If the guy's open, he's going to hit it.
Yep.
He's going to take our coaching and listen to what we do as far as reads go. And I understand them going Andy Dalton over Trubisky. And, again, I just think it's one of those things a little like Wentz in Philadelphia where it's just like both sides are sick of each other.
Right.
Like Trubisky's had enough of the hate from Chicago.
Yep.
And I think Chicago, if they brought Trubisky back, would be like, what? Are you doing that? Last thing I want to say on that, too.
Yes.
There's that report out there that they offered the Seattle Seahawks 3 first-rounders.
Yeah.
I said this morning with Mike Florio. I know from multiple people in the NFL that I trust, that offer was never real. No, to me, that from what I know is a total propaganda talk. That was just the Bears trying to make it sound like
coming from the
Bears. From the Bears, because it was like, oh, we got Andy Dalton, but hey, everybody,
we tried
to get Russell Wilson. From my understanding, from people who know the situation, there was never a formal offer of that kind from the Bears to the Seahawks. So that, I think, was a little bit of a, let me put this out there to lessen the blow for when people look at Andy Dalton as our new quarterback. They don't totally shit the bed, okay?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I'm here to let you know you should maybe shit the bed, okay? They didn't really try to get Russell Wilson.
You brought up Trubisky.
Yeah.
What would be a good fit for him?
I don't envision him being a starting quarterback, right? I don't. So to me, it's more of like a...
You'd love to have him as a backup, though, wouldn't you?
Yes, exactly right. He's a primetime backup with the capability of still being a solid NFL starter. You say what you want. He's been to the playoffs twice. One of those years, he drove his team down against the vaunted Eagles, and they had the mystique at that time. Ooh, you can't beat the Eagles in a big game or the playoffs. And they had a very makeable field goal. Double doink, they didn't make it. There's things to like about his game. We just talked about it. I mean, the running is pretty special for NFL quarterbacks. The arm strength is above average, accuracy below average. But, yes, he's the perfect backup with an upside where you go, man, I mean, if we lost our starter, okay, we might, this guy could maybe do something. So, to me, he needs to pick a place where, like a Jameis Winston, where he can flourish, right? To maybe get back on the market and do something. And really, when you look at it, I'm going to throw out teams that just make sense from a pure football stance. The New England Patriots, right off the bat. Why not? I mean, what? I mean, to me, the Jarrett Stidham thing and the things I hear there in that situation, that's over.
You feel better about playing him than Stidham if for some reason Cam couldn't go?
Yes, 100%. I do. Yeah.
Oh,
Stidham hasn't played, and Trubisky can kind of run the same offense Cam does. So you don't have to go, oh, now we just got to get in the drop-back pass game, right, that you do with Stidham. You have to go, wait, we have to revert kind of back to the Brian Hoyer, Tom Brady offense when we haven't really been practicing that all week. So that makes sense to me. So, and it's a place, I think he goes there, and you see they got a little talent and a run game, and the coaching is as good as it go, where if Cam did get hurt, just like a Taysom Hill, where he's going to run the ball and take some hits, you might get a 3 or 4 game showcase and go, I'm still pretty damn good. Anybody want me next year, right? So that makes sense to me there. The Titans, same thing. They have Logan Woodside. Right. He's young quarterback, small school, unproven. And I do think he'd fit the play-action boots Ryan Tannehill offense. He's a lesser version of Ryan Tannehill. And they have a pretty damn good team to where I'd go, wait, do you guys want to fall off earth when your starter does get hurt? Like, that would scare me a little if I'm them, right? So that makes sense. I'll throw the Colts in there.
Okay.
That's another situation I look at,
yep.
right? And they have their backup as we sit here right now. It looks like it's Jacob Eason,
yeah,
right? So I know he's got some talent. He's got a big arm and all that. But again, the Colts, I think we would agree, are kind of in the Super Bowl window right now. We're going to risk the whole year on Jacob Eason if Carson Wentz gets hurt for 5 or 6 weeks? Because, wait, Carson Wentz has an injury history.
Yeah.
That's right.
You picture a month where you have to have your backup and you want to go 3-1. Is it going to be Eason or Trubisky? It gives you a better chance.
I know.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly right. You know, so that's another one that jumps out to me. You know, other ones that I'll just hit on where I go, there's a need. And the Chargers, the Broncos, you know, they make sense. You know, again, I think with Vic Fangio, his ass is on the line. You know, if it doesn't work out with a guy like Drew Lock or he does get hurt, man, you know, the backups are Driscoll and Brett Rippon right now. I don't know, you know. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily the best spot for Trubisky either. They do have weapons at receiver, and they got a decent O-line that turned it around last year. So I would go, that to me would be one I'd look at if I were him. I said the Chargers because they only got Easton Stick. It's hard to know some of these younger backups. There was no preseason last year.
Right.
They didn't get to play. Even though we look at preseason and go, oh, who gives a damn about preseason? For backup quarterbacks, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It is your chance to kind of show the league, and it's the only time you get in a real environment, as I say all the time, where now 280-pound guys can legitimately rip your head off.
Right.
And that makes your decision-making different. Falcons, I'll throw them in there just because right now I don't know what they got. Matt Schaub retired. I know.
That's right.
So they really have nothing down there right now.
Running through this list, for as much as it is absolutely time for Trubisky to be somewhere else,
right.
He ought to be in real demand to be this kind of guy for a number of teams.
I think that's what – and then the 49ers are the last team I'll throw out there. Yeah. Because it's – you know, it doesn't – Nick Mullins is going to be gone. Beathard's gone. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo has an injury history. Mm-hmm. And I think Trubisky, you know, again, fits that Shanahan mold. Play action, movement of the quarterbacks, the bootlegs, all those things. And I think a lot of the teams I mentioned set up for success for Trubisky. And your point's real, too. You know, backup quarterback's not going to be necessarily like, hey, the first thing on everybody's radar here the first week in free agency. But I wouldn't be shy. Yeah, that's what I mean. Next week, when teams start to go, okay, wait, we've gotten the main pieces we need to fill in. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, what are some of the other spots we need a little depth or we need to help our team here? And that's where I think the Trubisky thing can come into play. And he might see a decent little contract for a year or two, something like that.
Started 50 games, more touchdowns than picks, more wins than losses. You would think there's more upside than downside at this point of his career. So that all makes real good sense to me, too. Moving on down the line at the same spot.
Right.
Texans sign Tyrod Taylor.
Right.
There's a lot to read into this.
Yeah.
You have to look at Deshaun Watson with the multiple lawsuits right now.
Right.
It seems like a trade is what he wants more than anything.
Yep.
So how's that tie into what you feel about Taylor as a Texan?
Yeah, all right. So before we even get into the lawsuits, you know, and before we even knew this, we knew Tyrod Taylor was going to be signed. To me, it's an insurance policy. In my heart of hearts, I want to say that at some point the Texans were going to trade Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Now, I do. I mean, I think that's why they signed a Tyrod Taylor. First off, David Culley at one point was in Buffalo with Tyrod Taylor. So there's some you know, common ground there. And of course, Tyrod Taylor is again one of those guys where he's a low-level starter, but an awesome backup. Right. And okay, maybe we draft a quarterback. We don't want to play him right away. This guy's a little raw, whatever that may be. He's the perfect bridge gap type of guy too. You know, he's not going to like wow everybody in practice, but he's got enough skills to kind of do everything you want in the offensive side of the ball. He doesn't have an overpowering personality that's going to squash some rookie quarterback who maybe you drafted in the first 2 rounds. So, you know, he makes sense from all aspects, whether it was Deshaun Watson going to hold out and not play, or, you know, they do trade Deshaun Watson to a team that can't give them a quarterback back, and they go, okay, we're going to have to figure out our quarterback situation as we go forward here, but we got Tyrod Taylor at least to know we can go into the 2021 season and feel okay about that. Then there's the Deshaun Watson stuff. Mm-hmm. And, like, come on. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm anybody that's listened to my pods over the years, you know I'm a Deshaun Watson fan. But I can't really defend him right now at this point. I can't. I mean, the way it looks right now is he has a masseuse problem and really made some poor decisions, like poor decisions in the situations he put himself in. You're going to the masseuse's house. You're bringing an Instagram masseuse from Atlanta to Houston and flying them in. You know, these are people you don't know, you don't trust, there's no relationship with, there's no third party around, anything like that. So just from jump off right there, that's stupid. I don't know any way to say it. You know, and I know we're going to let it all play out. I'm not trying to judge too harshly. And listen, I like Deshaun Watson, but it's hard for me. I'm not going to like him if all this becomes true.
Right.
I don't know what else to say. You know, so they're in a tough situation. And I think the big thing there is he's in a tough situation. Nobody's going to trade for Deshaun Watson right now.
That's the thing.
There's no way.
Right.
I mean, it's 2021. You know, and we've seen only one guy be able to just skirt this, and that's the ex-president. And yeah, I'm going to say that too, because that pisses me off. There's Johnny White guy who got off free. All right? And where I'm pissed off a little bit about the Deshaun Watson problem, because I'm not giving him like any free pass. I'm pissed off too. But the lawyer who's in charge of all this, Busby down in Houston, this is just one personal thing, and I'm sorry anybody who's listening to the podcast and doesn't want to hear all this, all right? But it has to do with football, and this bothers me on a personal, humane America level right now, because we're seeing these issues everywhere. But Busby, a big lawyer, right, big time down there in the Houston area. I've known about him. I've even had some friends down at the University of Texas, you know, reach out to me, whatever. But, you know, okay, what I want to say to him is shut up. Stop with the social media messages about, you know, now you're on this high perch and this is disgraceful that a man would do this to a woman and that people care about football more than people and all that. Hey, Busby, and I want to get on Instagram and go at him right now. You know, you can't be the #1 fundraiser for a guy who's got 20 lawsuits of women who improper conduct, and you're the biggest supporter of him there is out there. I mean, he raised more money for Donald Trump, him and McNair, the owner of the Houston Texans, which is a very fishy thing altogether. Nobody raised more money for them. But he had no problem with that. He could support. He literally has a quote where I'm trying to be Donald Trump when he was running for office down in Houston. So that was okay for him to mistreat all those women. But now here it's Deshaun, and you're going to prove a lesson to the world. Like, fuck off with that.
The hypocrisy is just
that drives me crazy. And I'm not trying to give Deshaun Watson any free pass here.
No,
anybody that knows me, I think
anybody listening, paying attention, also knows you, can draw that line very well.
Okay.
You said how you feel about the allegations, about the lawsuits.
Right.
It's completely separate what this lawyer is doing and how his past and who he has attached himself to.
And he's doing it publicly right now.
Has to be considered with what he's doing now.
Exactly right.
100%.
It just that doesn't add up to me. And he's doing it all publicly, and he's kind of doing the court in the public eye right now with all the social media. If
he
Instagram
would lessen
stuff.
his words on social media, he wouldn't be such a target right now.
Yeah, right now he's a target with me with that, because I just want to go, well, there's some white America hypocrisy bullshit, and I just will not stand for that. Sorry.
It was free agency quarterbacks.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. Where do you want to go next?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking at the name Jacoby Brissett.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty promising in New England.
Right.
Up and down in Indy.
Right.
Now as the backup for Tua.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, it makes sense. It really does from a lot of ways. First off, I think the Deshaun Watson thing is probably come and gone now with this situation. But
you mean the potential trade? The
potential trade. And honestly, even with the signing of Jacoby Brissett, I feel like that happened a lot before, this news broke and everything like that, before it became a full-fledged story. I think that signing alone tells you they were moving on from that thought anyways. And they're going to go all in on Tua. He will be their quarterback this year and everything like that. But they need an insurance policy. First off, he's the perfect guy for a lot of the reasons we talked about with a Tyrod Taylor or anything like that. It's not a real strong personality, but he is a capable player when he gets in the game. You talked about the Colts that year where he was a starter. He started off playing really good football. Yeah. He hurt his knee and got really scary bad for a little bit, where it was just like, whoa, bad decisions, bad throws, like what the hell's going on? And that's why they moved to Phillip Rivers. But there's also this aspect. Yeah, protect yourself. Tua does have an injury history. You can't sit there and look at the film last year from Tua and go, oh, wow, he blew us away. He's definitely going to get better and just kill it this year. No, I think they got to still have legitimately that question a little bit. I think they're hopeful and they saw some good, but they don't know for sure yet.
Right.
You just listen to what they say down there. They don't know for sure. And Brissett, he was in New England, and these guys were all in New England. Mm-hmm. And George Godsey is the offensive pass game coordinator. He's going to run New England system plays. He was there with Jacoby when he was there. So I think it's a guy that can come right in, know the offense. We don't have to worry about any of that. And he's got good talent, and we can manage the game and play around him just like we would Tua if we got to play him.
I think it's also a situation where you have to look at how much they got out of Ryan Fitzpatrick last year.
Right.
And it's not the young quarterback, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow kind of thing where this is our guy unless he goes down with a serious injury.
No.
This is a situation where, hey, backup, keep your helmet on.
Yeah, no doubt.
Might need you in the second quarter.
Right,
so
exactly.
it had to be somebody who come in and do that.
I think so. They're just, with that New England core down there, they're not going to trust that. They're going to have somebody there just in case. And I think they're going to give Tua every right, and hopefully they'll surround him with a little more talent, and, he'll approach the year differently and have a full offseason to where he does improve. I'm rooting for Tua as much as people think I'm a hater of him, but I think that was a necessary football move for them to sign Jacoby.
You ready for a little Cam?
Yeah.
I know we hit Cam pretty hard the other day.
Right.
Okay, just one question here from Dylan Freiberg. Hey, Chris, big fan, but I don't understand your analysis of Cam Newton and how he can still be a starter in the league. His mechanics looked terrible last year, throwing off the back foot, shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage, no control.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm not going to disregard that. It's a fair question, but I think I'm going to take it all in totality too. He was throwing the ball really damn good before COVID. That threw him off. There's no doubt about that. Let alone he made the comments about he didn't really know the offense as well as he thought he did when that went along. There was a lot of negatives surrounding the situation. And then, yes, the mechanics are a real thing. We talked about that a few times. I mean, it's this. If I'm throwing it to you in the camera there, anybody watching on YouTube, the shoulder's like this, and he's going to step over here and do that. Like, that's not going to work. But I can also go through, 95% of his career, more than that, 98% of the career, and go, well, look, here's a great throw. Here's a great throw. Mechanics are good. Here's a great throw. So I think when you take everything into no offseason, no talent, the COVID, learning the toughest system in all of football, it compounded itself to now where, wait, I'm out of sorts. My mind is racing. And I'm a little off throwing the football, and it all got worse. I'm not giving up on Cam that way. And I understand the question. I really do.
And clearly the Pats are not either.
No, I don't think so either. Because I think, one, they saw his leadership, and I think, two, the other thing they're looking at is going, damn, when we had early in the year before COVID, they were coming, wow, look at this at practice. Ooh, this is damn good. Training camp, whoa, every day, rifles, spirals, those things. And they're the kind of group, too, that goes, okay, he's got a few issues. We can fix this. Get him here in the offseason. We'll fix these little issues he's got in his mechanics and get him on the right track. And, again, of course, they got the talent, the offensive line, the tight ends, and all those things that are going to make life a lot easier for Cam, too. Hey, listen, it's hard to be a real great thrower when, one, you're going, my guy's going to get open. Two, I'm still thinking about the play as I'm walking to the line of scrimmage. And three, I'm a little off my game right now, too. And I think all that compounded itself. Yeah, it's a trifecta. That's right. So we'll see. I'm saying to our guy right there, I'm going to bet on more positive Cam than negative Cam this year.
Dylan brought up fair points.
Yes.
I think you're speaking with conviction is for a reason as well.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.